You know, guys, ever since I've been doing Rolling with T-Bone Presents Cryptids of North America, I've covered a lot of interesting cases. I've covered everything from the Beast of Bray Road to the Jersey Devil to Champ. Everything that I've covered, by the end of the episode, seemed to make sense. But what I'm about to cover in this episode, all I can tell you guys, I didn't know what I didn't know. Y'all hang tight.
Welcome to Rolling with T-Bone Presents Cryptids, UFOs, and Paranormal Stories. I hope that you enjoy.
All right, guys. So as I said, I didn't know what I didn't know. The time we have to go back to is the beginning, and what I have found to be the beginning of the history of the black dog. Now, of course, the black dog didn't originate here in America. It originated in 1577 in England, where in 1577 it is believed that the first black dog encounter happened at a church. Black dog busted through the doors, room full of petitioners, killed 2 of them, and on its way out, it left fiery footprints and claw marks behind on the door that are still there today. So what is it about this? Well, I don't know whether to call it a cryptid, a creature, or a phantom. But what is it about the black dog that has all the people in England a little bit on edge? And even people here who see their own kind of black dogs in America. We're going to dive into this suggested video by the Recycled Hooligan. We're going to see what we can turn up about the black dog. All right, T-Bone. So what does British, not 1577, have to do with cryptids of North America? Well, to talk about tonight's cryptid, you know what, guys, I'm not even sure. Again, I'm still not sure we can even call this thing a cryptid. The black dog, the best I can gather out of folklore, the black dog is a phantom, a hellhound, a creature, and one of the reasons that it can't fall into the cryptid category completely is because it changes. Now, like I said at the opening, this all goes back to 1577. So I guess this is going to be the actual first paranormal episode. Man, I didn't know this, guys. When this was suggested to me by Recycled Hooligan, I didn't know how deep down this hole I was going to have to go to circle it back around, but it does circle around. But like I said, to start the story of the black dog, you have to go back to 1577, where it was said that the black dog burst into several churches, attacked people, killed them, parishioners, killed them. I said partitioners earlier. Killed a couple in each church, and for just a while there in Anglo England, around Sussex, Norfolk, I think Westshire, in that area where there's plenty of bogs and swamps and you know, just undesirable land. Apparently that's where this thing hunts. But it burst in, and it left its claw marks behind that are still in the church buildings today. Now, it is described a couple of different ways, and each county in England has its own version of the black dog. But the one I'm going to talk about the most is the one that's called Black Shuck. S-H-U-C-K, Black Shuck. This seems to be the most prominent story to come out of England. And guys, this isn't just something that happened in 1577. and then faded into myth. Still going on today. They're still having to deal with the black dog today as we speak. But so when this thing attacked the churches, left its claw marks behind, the stories from then just kept growing. It just kept growing and growing and growing. Now this thing, like I said, I was going to tell you, squirrel. It's always described as a black dog. Now the variations of the black dog is what's so mind-boggling. Some say it's as large as a wolf, so picture a large black wolf. Some say the black shuck can be as large as a horse. So imagine a black dog as large as a horse. Now, one of the other variations is that he's reported to have fiery red eyes. Sometimes two, sometimes only one eye. So when you start, but the one thing about the fur is that it's always matted down, and it's always pretty well much the same description about the fur. Black, matted up, and over time, over the centuries, 450 years, this thing has held a very important place in English history over in England. It's been called the hellhound, the phantom dog, the devil dog. So outside of the churches, people say that they feel a very otherworldly presence, a paranormal presence, when the black dog appears to them. In cemeteries, crossroads, churches, places where, historically speaking, these are places where the veil between this world and the other side are the thinnest. That's where you're out to meet the black dog. Well, now that everything's hydrated up, including myself, there was being a history buff, as most of y'all know I am, there is a pretty famous story that come out of England about the black dog. But being a history buff, y'all know I listen to Spotify, old time radio. And in the detective series, there is, of course, that famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. And Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who created and wrote most of the works, well, all of the good works of Sherlock Holmes, based one of Sherlock Holmes' mysteries off of the black dog. And of course, I'm speaking about the Hound of the Baskerville. Now, Doyle wrote that in true text, meaning he didn't circle it around to be some kind of stray dog or some kind of wild rabid killer dog. It was he left it as a paranormal entity. He left it as a specter, as a phantom, and I thought that was always pretty cool, because I am a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. And the Hound of the Baskerville is probably one of the more famous Sherlock Holmes stories. But like I said a minute ago, it seemed like every county, it's kind of like Bigfoot here. Here every state has its own story of Bigfoot. Well, in England, every county has its own version of the black dog. So one of the more famous stories about the black dog over in England was recorded in 1961 a gentleman named Tom Starling had reported that 30 years before, which would have put it at 1931, that he had in fact seen the black dog. The way he tells it, he was pushing his bicycle along the road. And that's one of the cool things about Old English history, guys, is although the automobile came along, in England, even up to today, they're still very bicycle driven, orientated. They love their bicycles over there. But the way he was telling it, Tom Starling, that he was pushing his bicycle along the old road leading to his home, a piece of property that he had just bought, and he said that he heard a deep growl from behind him, and he turned to look back and saw nothing, but when he turned back around, standing in front of him was the black dog. And he said he went on to, the dog had kind of walked away from him, and he had just went on to his gate. And he said that he had spoke to some of his neighbors about it the next day, and they said, yeah, that's black shuck. They had kind of filled him in on the legend of it. And now Tom wouldn't shy away from it. He would talk about his experience. But guys, over in England, there are so many stories, hundreds. I can't put them all in one video, but there's just a ton of stories, especially in the Anglo section, like I said, East Anglia section of Britain. That's where the most prominent stories seem to come from. But so you fast forward then through the 40s, it's still being reported, through the 50s, all the way up till now. He's still being reported. Now, I know what you're thinking, T-Bone, what does this got to do with cryptids in North America? Well, like every good story, or every good cryptid, or every good phantom, or every good specter, what happens there eventually finds its way here. Now, when you get to this part, when you get to America, the story changes quite a bit. So, when you Americanize the black dog, it takes on a totally different meaning. As in, it's still a specter, still a phantom, still very much a hellhound, because it's believed to be it's believed from England to here that the black dog is a bad omen. Does it always come with something bad attached to it? You know, it seems. But anyway, when you get to the American stories of the black dog, you're not going to find the English version of the stories here, because what happens here is a little different. Now, I have truckers in my friends list or subscribe to our channel. Recycle Hooligan used to drive a truck. Of course, Sterling will. I don't know if Sterling still watches our channel or not, but Sterling and some of these other guys who drive a truck, they could tell you probably their own stories. But of course, Patrick Swayze, Meatloaf, and Randy Travis made the story of the black dog popular in America. Of course, I am talking about the movie Black Dog, which was filmed in Georgia, and that truck chase scene was filmed over in Union County in Blairsville on Blood Mountain. Y'all seen us ride Blood Mountain last summer on the bike. But the stories that I have listened to go along with what the movie portrayed, is that the black dog comes to truckers who are on the long hauls, who have pushed themselves, meaning they have went one full day, one full night into the next day. They're really pushing to get home. They're pushing to get off the road and to end their you know, to end their loneliness. They want to get home to their families, so they push on through without sleep. And according to that, when a trucker gets drowsy and he starts nodding off, that's when the black dog comes to warn him. Now the black dog will, the way it was portrayed in the movie, is how most stories portray it. Just before a awful event happens, the black dog will appear. Now, of course, in the movie with Patrick Swayze's character driving the truck, which was Cruz, he was nodding off. He heard the black dog coming for him. He opened his eyes, saw the black dog, and just as the black dog disappeared, he ended up running over someone who was on the side of the road working on their vehicle. Ended up killing him. It was vehicular manslaughter. He went to prison for it. Lost his license and all that good jazz, but not to get lost in Hollywood land, but everything that, all the stories on the black dog that I have heard, all seem to say the same thing, is that the black dog still comes for you when you're tired, when you're pushing yourself too far. And it don't have to be just truck drivers. Anyone who's out on the interstate or on the road and they're tired, nodding off, they push themselves to the limit. You know, you're going to hear these stories, and every time you do, you're going to hear the person who has the experience with the black dog say they had pushed themselves past exhaustion. So that leads us into me playing devil's advocate. So, playing devil's advocate on the black dog. Everything that I have read now, this is just, again, guys, these are just my opinions. And this video was requested, and of course, Recycle Hooligan requested it because he knew I was going to do a bunch of research on it. So, what I have come up with playing devil's advocate is that the black dog is, even in England, it's not based off of a real dog. Meaning a dog that was mistreated, killed, hurt, you know, whatever situation you want to put on it. The black dog didn't come from that. Everything that I have read and the way I understand what I've read and I've watched and I've listened to is that, sorry guys, is that the black dog is a phantom. It is a specter. Even you know, even the English stories are specters and phantoms. And so playing devil's advocate, knowing that the black dog is not based off of a real dog that existed 450 years ago. It's based more off of the hellhound theory. The hellhound coming to do the devil's bidding. And the way I see it here, there's no reason for me to think that that still doesn't hold true when you deal with the American black dog. So playing devil's advocate, knowing that it didn't come from a real life animal. It's always said to be black, large, red, fiery eyes, and it indiscriminately attacks everybody. It, you know, in churches, on roads, in trucks. So then that leads to the question, what is the black dog? Is the black dog an apparition that appears after someone has pushed themselves past exhaustion, after they're too tired to really be driving or doing anything? They push themselves past the limit. They materialize this phantom dog chasing them. Is that what the black dog is? Or the other side of the coin, is the black dog a actual phantom, a specter? Is it a hellhound? You're going to hear me say something here that you never hear me say. I'm going to say that it's a little bit of both. And I believe that it is an apparition that appears after you have pushed yourself farther and harder than you should. I believe that it's very real to the people who experience it. The one consistent story about the black dog, whether it be in England, whether it be in America, is it always appears as an apparition. It always appears as a phantom, as a specter, as a ghost. So I will place the black dog squarely in the paranormal side of things. And yes, I believe it's very real. I believe that it can come for you. I believe that you can manifest this thing in your life. Because the general consensus of the black dog in every story is it comes to bring bad omens. It's never, oh hey, look, there's a big black dog, ain't he so cute? People always report foreboding, a foreboding presence. They always get a sense of danger, that the black dog is not a friend, that the black dog is not carrying them good tidings. So I think that you have to, whether you're a old English gentleman walking the countryside, or you're an American trucker trying to get home off of a 3,000 mile run, I think you have to place the black dog in the category of paranormal. Again, I do believe in ghosts. I have seen things in my own life. Now, not saying that, I've never seen a black dog. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've always said I would be transparent on this channel. Until I watched the movie Black Dog, I had never even heard of the black dog. Because I'm not a trucker. I don't exist in that world. But even then, I didn't know anything about that it came from England and that it was a specter. I didn't know any of that until the Recycled Hooligan made the suggestion about the black dog, and I decided to research it and cover it in a video. Now guys, like I said before, there's a ton of stuff about the black dog on YouTube. You can watch hour upon hour upon hour upon hour of stuff. I couldn't cover all of them in this video because this video would have been a month long. But I think it serves a better purpose than just being a hellhound. And let me explain why. The purpose I think it serves is a reminder to not push yourself, to not allow yourself to become overly exhausted. And it's hard to do. I mean, you know, let's just be honest, guys. It's hard to not get exhausted. It's hard to not be tired. You know, we get caught up in our day-to-day lives, whether it's truck driving or whether it's working a 9-to-5 job, whether it's working for yourself. We all get caught up in our lives, and you know, especially when you're married with kids and you got mortgages and you've got all these things coming at you, hitting you in the face 1,000 miles per hour. I think the black dog serves as a reminder to all of us. And I think the moral that comes out of the black dog stories and the black dog legend is to take your time, slow down, take care of yourself, rest yourself, take better care of number one. At least that's what I take from it. Now, you may watch it and take something totally different away from it. But yeah, man, there it is, Recycled Hooligan, the black dog. A very, very interesting subject. And like I said, I'll say it again, I didn't know what I didn't know. All right, guys, so that's the episode, the black dog. I want to thank the Recycled Hooligan for suggesting it. I hope I did a good job on it for him. Like I said, this is just a very thorough story. And I also want to address a comment that was left by South Osmodo. And it was during the Saturday night episode that I did last week. South Oz had asked, how do I keep my motorcycle so pristine? Well, Oz, the short answer is I don't. They're all in need of a bath right now. They all need to be washed. The dirt just don't show up too good on the camera, and I don't focus in on the dirt. But I try to keep them, I try to keep them nice as I can. I try to keep them clean, make sure I've got all the waxes and polishes on the chrome and the metal, and try to keep everything as clean as I can. I try to wash them, pretty often. But the only way I know to keep a bike really pristine is just to cover it up, put it in the corner garage, and never ride it, which is awful. But yeah, man, the Black Dog, guys, you really got to take some time. If you've got a couple hours in one evening to spend, just listen to some of the folklore out of England about the Black Dog. And then if you've never watched the movie Black Dog, it is free to watch on YouTube. I have watched it on YouTube recently, actually. Good movie, good flick. Meatloaf does a good job in that movie. He plays the villain in the movie. Of course, Randy Travis is in the movie. Patrick Swayze, of course. I don't think Patrick Swayze ever made a bad movie. I'm a big Patrick Swayze fan. Love all his movies. But I tell you what, guys, I think that's going to end this one up here. I'm going to drop this episode off right here and say that it's done. Y'all remember to go back, check out the old catalog, check out some of the other videos. Remember to like, comment, share, watch some of the other videos, and if you like what you see, consider giving us a subscribe. But until the next time, guys, y'all take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and hey, thanks for watching.